Hi kawan, welcome to EDCReady. Today I'm doing a full disassembly and maintenance of this guy. This is the Giantmouse Ace Riv. You can see there. It's the mouse logo, that's the Ace, and this is the Riv. So tune in for the review out early on Patreon. In fact, this video is out early on Patreon if you guys are on Patreon. So out of the box, this guy comes in very well scented, no complaints there. Action wise, a lot to be desired, not a very good flipper. Okay, because of the positioning your fingers need to be to flip this open properly. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. And then quite gritty out of the box as well. Don't know if you can hear that. Quite gritty. It has moved over after a few days. But let's take it apart. Now, from what I can see, it is T8 all the way over. So very simple. Just one Biha T8 Torx bit right here. And I should be able to take everything apart. Let's get rid of any spring tension from the lock bar here. No Loctite, or is there Loctite? No, I mean, yeah, no Loctite in the front pivot here. Now, before I started this video, I did make sure I break these screws open here. This guy was a little bit tight, but it came out no problem. See if it has any Loctite here. And yeah, no Loctite as well. So it looks like the tightness came from the how tight the screws were screwed in there. Alright, let's get this guy out. Come on, why are you not coming out? It is completely unscrewed. Yeah, there we go, it's out. Now let's open this slowly, because the last time I did a disassembly, the spring of my Demco knives shark lock flew open. Alright, so pretty straightforward. What do we have here? We have some this guy seems to be in backwards. Interesting. That's interesting. So normally when it comes to these bearings, these are normally on the blade like so that the blades rotate on the bearings. But in this configuration, it looks like the bearing rotates with the blade, but either way, both works fine. Seems that we have like a brass cage for the ceramic bearings. So that's all nice and good. Trying to get this bearing out. Come on. Come on, come to daddy. There we go. It's out. So it's going to be for the Micarta side. It's going to be for the TI side. And we do have these steel washers to make sure that the bearings rotate on the steel and not on the Micarta or the titanium, because these guys, the ceramics here are harder than titanium or micarta, so it will definitely eat into the material. We have here is it a free spinning pivot? Oh, we do have a free spinning pivot. Is it D-shaped in any way? No, it isn't. Surprisingly, I thought this was a non-free spinning pivot, but yeah. Impressive. That is a free spinning pivot. Gotta keep that in mind for the review later. Okay, so what we have here is that we have some titanium liners. Titanium because it feels like it's the same material as this other side. In fact, you have some nice etching in here. Vox and Anso, which are the two designers, I believe. Anso and Jesper Voxnaes. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name. And the steel is LMAX. This is the steel of the blade, not the steel of the liners. No skeletonization. Clip is screwed into the titanium, which is good, which is nice. We don't need to flip it around because it only has a screw hole on one side for the clip. So let's clean all this up. Ceramic ball detent, which is very nice. Overall, pretty straightforward. I have been carrying this guy for a few days, as you can see from the gunk. And look at that detent ball track. Very, very nice. So there is a ramp for the detent ball to get onto the steel. So sometimes with cheaper knives, you don't have that little ramp right there. So it's a lot more it's a lot more prominent when the detent jumps onto the blade. In this case, it is not only divoted in, but it's also stretched out. So that's very, very nice. Very nice. I gotta say, this is probably the best detent ball ramp I've ever seen. So just gonna clean this out because I have carried this guy in the pocket and it's been super hot recently. Because, you know, global warming. It's been super hot recently and I've been sweating like mad. So this guy, the Micarta here, came out a little bit lighter brown. Even though they say that it's OD green, and I think after some time the oils from my hands or the sweat from my pockets have caused it to become more and more OD green like in nature. So it's pretty good. Going to clean up the bearings here with my cloth. Nothing major, nothing really that dirty. Now the question is, do I want to put it back the way it was assembled, or do I want to put it back in a way that I think it should be placed in? I think I'm just gonna follow what the factory did. Okay, a little bit loop there, a little bit loop there. That goes down like so. Yeah, a little bit of lube, a little bit of lube. And I feel like sneezing, so if I sneeze halfway through this, I'm really sorry. Okay, then that guy goes onto this part right there. As you can see, there is a stop pin that is not really visible once the knife is opened, but it does stop it both ways. It stops it from hitting this back spacer here, and it locks it open like that. So that is where the lock face presses up against here, and then that detent ball, once you disengage the lock, will go up there. Alright, a little bit Loctite here, not Loctite, a little bit oil there and there. Get this guy running smoothly. Very smooth disassembly, which is very nice. Have this around there. And there we go. Okay, detent ball there. Okay, now it's just a matter of pushing it into its place and then screw it back in. Starting with the pivot. Pivot went out a little bit. Let's hope that this will get sucked in later once I put in the main pivot. Okay, it's not in. So worried that I am going to strip this. Okay, that is not going in straight. Let's see what's happening here. Maybe if I reduce some, there we go. So what I did was I just lifted this little lock bar a little bit, reduced some spring tension, and then the screw kind of just got back into place. There we go. Just got to find the right angle of entry. There we go. Everything's fine. Didn't cross-thread the screws, which is a great thing. Now, even though it's free spinning, it seems to grip quite well, like the Chicago screw on the other side, which is a great thing. Alright, so that is in. Let me just check to make sure I didn't strip the screws. Okay, it comes back out. Comes back out all the way, and then with the right angle, it goes back in. Oh yeah, didn't break it apart this time. Centering is pretty much spot on center. No blade play. Any blade play? Nope, no blade play. Let's check the action. Flicking is great. Flipping is improved. A lot smoother. On the detent was actually quite a bit harder when I opened it. When I took it out of the box. Now it's actually a lot nicer. Okay guys, a few more days of carry and I should be able to get this review up. Again, it'll be early on Patreon. If you're on YouTube, you'll still get the full video, just a little bit later. And on Patreon, once we get certain goals met, we can do certain giveaways. Okay guys, thank you so much. And as always, stay ready.